That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction
Mondays.
Monday. On a Tuesday.
All right, Christopher, I didn't step on it. I'm very proud of myself. What's going on over there, Chris?
What's up, everybody?
What do you got?
Y'all look great. Happy Tuesday, Jay Felly. Good to see you. Enjoy that donut.
Before you start, I'm pleased to say everyone should check out the Overreaction Monday podcast right there on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts to listen to.
Also, all these Lions fans, did you watch the game? It was 10-9 until 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
What are you talking about?
Leave me alone.
What do you mean?
Well, again, this is the only time I'm going to equate me and this other person. I know how Joe Buck feels. You know how Joe Buck says that everyone says that he hates their team?
Right.
That's how everyone feels about me every week on Overreaction.
Well,
but you do kind of hate.
Well, if you hate on all 32 teams, people can claim it.
What are we doing? I mean, it's true. I hate my own team right now.
That's what I'm saying.
What do you got?
First order of business, guys. I'm thinking about how Week 18 shook out and how it leads us into Super Wildcard Weekend.
Super.
It was a mistake for the Rams to rest their starters and settle for the 4 seed.
Let me say this. Because the last time the Rams played, let's just say Minnesota, right? They got guys back. Remember, Kupp came back, and it was a big game. This is one of the storylines for the week, too. That Thursday night football game, when the Vikings came into their house, let's not forget, if they lost that, Cooper Kupp might have been traded away.
Yeah.
That was a conversation that was had significantly. And it was a surprise that Puka Nacua was coming back from the knee injury that he suffered and then worsened in the preseason, and then worsened apparently in that first opener loss against the Lions, and he comes back. And don't forget, in the interim, the Rams went 1-4 to start. Mm-hmm. So they're a different team when these guys are not out there. And if you want to play some three-dimensional chess, let's just say everything goes chalk, right? It happens. It happens a lot.
It does.
That things go chalk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The 3 seed goes to visit Philadelphia. And the Rams would love to have somebody knock Philadelphia off for them. I think they're far more confident against the team they've already beaten this weekend, or a team that they took into overtime in the first game and also gave quite a run to in last year's wild card round of the playoffs. I think they'd rather be indoors. I think they'd rather not see Saquon Barkley and them finishing as the 4 seed, unless lower seeds win. Then the Eagles are out anyway.
Right.
See what I'm saying? The only thing that it would cost them here to be the 4 seed is if lower seeds win and Tampa moves on. Now they forfeit the opportunity to host a second playoff game, similar to what happened for the Lions last year. If you remember, the 7th-seeded Packers knocked off the NFC East champ in Dallas, and Detroit wound up hosting a second playoff game that everybody thought they lost the opportunity to do because of the Dan Skipper report gate. Don't forget that was last year. So if the Packers eliminate the NFC East champion again as the 7th seed, then guess what? The Rams would have to go to Tampa rather than have Tampa come to them because they lost the opportunity to be the 3 seed. Have I worked it all out for you for me to say this is an overreaction?
All right, there you go. That's what I was waiting for. How about this one, guys? You just mentioned chalk. It does happen.
Yes, it does.
Championship weekend ends up being 1 versus 2 both sides.
Yes.
I don't think that's going to happen. Championship weekend will not be both number 1s against both number 2s.
I don't think that's an overreaction at all. I think the Ravens can knock off the Bills for a second time this year and do it in Western New York as opposed to having to do it in the state of Maryland. I think a lower seed in the NFC can make this party. I don't think this is an overreaction at all. Obviously, 1 versus 2 going chalk. With all due respect to the other teams, I think CBS and Fox would sign for that right now. Philadelphia in Detroit, Buffalo in Kansas City. I think CBS and Fox would say, "Where's the dotted line?"
Do you think those are the 4 best teams heading into the playoffs?
I cannot sit here and say that. I cannot sit here and say that. I don't think people are talking about the Ravens enough. How does that sound? It's a little bit of a breadcrumb based on the conversation that I know we're going to have in hour number 3, since we started this show saying which is the team that we're not talking about enough going into the playoffs. So I'll say this is not an overreaction. What else you got?
Guys, would you agree that sometimes if you've been doing something or been somewhere for a long time, that a change of scenery is a good thing?
Sure.
Absolutely.
You would absolutely agree that.
Even if you don't think at the time it's a good thing.
Exactly.
It winds up being a good thing.
I told you I got a fortune cookie once that told me that, and then I moved to L.A.
That's what I'm saying. We all ended up here for a reason.
I had no idea I was moving to L.A. until ESPN handed me a cardboard box. Look at us now.
Look at us.
Look at us now. If the Steelers lose this weekend, a team should trade for Mike Tomlin.
Okay. All right. And you think Tomlin would agree to such a trade? You think the Steelers would agree to such a trade?
I think they should. I think it would benefit everyone involved to have a change of scenery here.
A team should trade for Mike Tomlin. You know how I feel about Mike Tomlin, so sure, a team should do that. But I think the last time where Tomlin was alleged to be interested in leaving Pittsburgh led to one of the greatest drops.
Never say never, but never.
That was USC, if you remember.
That was a college, though.
I just think it's time for Pittsburgh to take a good hard look and just figure out where they are as a franchise. This is who they are. They're going to get blown out by the Ravens this weekend. I think we can all agree on that.
I don't know about that,
Then
dude.
what? Then what? You're just a team that makes the playoffs and has no chance of winning a Super Bowl.
Let's put a pin in this.
Can I say this just based upon, growing up there and everyone I'm friends with is Steeler fans.
Oh, they want to change the scenery,
being
right?
home over Christmas and having to listen to local media and read stuff. I kind of feel for him. Like, it doesn't seem like he's appreciated. The Steeler fans don't appreciate the fact that they don't lose. They just think like they should win every Super Bowl. So they don't appreciate the fact that they've got a great leader and a man who leads your team to victory. So maybe it is time for him, Chris.
The players aren't the ones complaining about it.
No,
why wouldn't
so
Woody
loud,
Johnson
Rich.
call the Steelers and be like, what's it going to take? What's the price?
It's so loud, Rich. To like I said, reading the stuff and listening to local news when I was back home. It's
The
just
Chicago Bears, make an offer.
No, now you're talking. I don't think the Jets would be something that Tomlin would listen to. But Tomlin listening to a team that would say, come to Chicago and coach Caleb Williams, I mean, that might be something would even give him pause if he hears from somebody to say, guess who called today, Mike?
And also, Rich and Chris, it might be nice for Coach Tomlin to actually coach a top-notch wide receiver who, isn't necessarily a problem on and off the field.
That he doesn't have to say do you have to do the routine things routinely or put the Batmobile away?
Yeah, like a guy you're not worried about fighting in the middle of a play on 4th and short. Like, a guy who's not going to do some of the things that wide receivers from Pittsburgh, very talented as we know, have done. Maybe he needs just to get a wide receiver who is, who plays video games, man, and who's okay.
It should be an option.
Both East Coast people are saying this is not an overreaction.
Interesting.
Stay by your phone, man. I may need you.
You finally admitted it, too, which is awesome.
Thanks, Coach. Staying in the AFC North, I want to look ahead to next year. This is hot seat season,
yes.
And I want to talk about who might be on the hot seat for next year.
Ooh, yes. Let me get my torch.
Number one coach looking ahead to next year on the hot seat, Zach Taylor in Cincinnati.
What are you talking about, man?
Well, he just fired the DC, so that's the first sign that your seat is getting warm.
I mean, 9-8 might be 11-6, and they're in it if they had a few defensive stops earlier this year.
You can't keep wasting these Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase years.
Again, you keep talking about Zach Taylor on the hot seat. I need to know how many years are left on his contract, because the last owner in the history of the NFL that is going to pay a coach to not coach for him is Mike Brown. I present to you the number of years Marvin Lewis stuck around in Cincinnati longer than Cincinnati Bengals fans wanted him to stick around or thought he should stick around. Move on. Overreaction. What else you got?
Zach Taylor has an extension through 26.
Wow.
So you know.
So, yeah, he's not paying a coach a single dime to sit at home. Mike Brown.
That is true.
What else, Chris?
Wow. All right. I'm 48 hours removed from the debacle Sunday in Foxborough.
Is that what it's called? It's going down.
Okay.
The snow game, the debacle.
And I've thought it all out. Okay. I've really analyzed everything. This Patriots season was actually a massive success.
Well, because if you got rid of the coach that you didn't want to have, and then the fourth overall, and you know that you got the kid right. Sure. Outside of all of that, where you had to sit through all those losses and you had to wonder whether this was the right guy or not, and then the Kraft family had to turn into what nobody ever thought they would be, which is a one and done front office and ownership group. I would not say it's a massive success.
It was a pretty miserable 4 months, but where we are on January 7th.
Let's see who you get fourth overall.
I feel like it was a massive
Let's
success.
see who the GM is. Let's see who the new coach is. Let's see who you get fourth overall.
If it's Travis Hunter, if it's Ted,
You're not
the guy
getting
from
Travis
Arizona,
Hunter fourth overall.
he might drop.
You should stop the
if
Travis Hunter
If
talk.
it's Will Campbell, then a huge
The
success.
fact that you earlier, in such a reversal of magnanimity, that's 2 days in a row I've used that word.
Yeah. That's for the whole week.
That you say you'd like to see the Buffalo Bills make the Super Bowl after they blew an opportunity for you to try and actually win a game against your Patriots this weekend, and two, they're in your division. I don't know who you are anymore. This is an overreaction. What else you got? You got one more?
Oh, I do have one more. I was told we had to move on, but I do have one more.
Quickly.
You think we need one more?
Oh, man.
All right, we'll get one more.
Rich, the roster is far too talented, and this guy has shown way too much that he still actually has it inside of him. The Jets need to run it back with Aaron Rodgers one more season.
All right. You know what they should do it with? They should do it with Rex Ryan. They should go ahead and dip their toe in that water.
He's the right man for the job. He's going to end the country club culture and hold number 8 accountable.
Enough. Okay.
Hold his feet to the fire, Rich, for saying that.
This is troll on troll violence, is what it is. That's what it is.
That was for yesterday.
You guys stand 10 toes down on that, Rich.
Standing home business summer.
All right. Well done. Great overreaction.
Thank
Monday
you.
on a Tuesday. Greatly appreciate all that. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.